Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode number 182 here on season number 2. And today we are getting into Stash Retire Recap August edition. Wow, that was like a ton of words to say right there. Anyways, these videos are meant for educational purposes only and not meant to be taken as financial advice. You are responsible for your assets and to properly protect them. So always, please, do your own research. Last month, in regards to Stash, my Stash Invest account beat my Stash Retire account by about 0.4%. This month, same thing. My Stash account beat my Stash Retire account by about 0.13%. So it was a little less than last month. I mean, at least it wasn't like about 0.5%. I mean, I think it's reasonable to equate that difference in percents to basically the $2 a month charge that I pay for my Stash Retire account versus the $1 a month that I pay for my Stash Invest account. I would say that probably is the difference between those two accounts. On Stash Retire specifically, 3 out of my 5 target percents have been achieved. So Delicious Dividend right now sits at 27%. So obviously over the past month it did really well. Park My Cash still sits at 25%. Real Estate Tycoon is at 16%. And right now I'm focusing on putting my money into that Robots Rising to bring that up to that 10% level, because right now it sits at a 7%, which is up from where it was last month. Last month I think it was at like a 3% or almost a 5%. As far as into September, I should reach that target percent, I believe, by the end of the month, all things being equal, that Park My Cash doesn't go down to 24%, or Delicious Dividends doesn't drop down to 24%, or Real Estate Tycoon drop or something along those lines. And then obviously from there, I'll be adding a single stock, which this month is the month that I'll start putting a lot of thought into what single stock I'll be adding into my portfolio as far as a 5% holding. And then after that point, I'll be going and investing my money into each and every single ETF and single stock that is on there, while still keeping each one of those target portfolio ETFs and equities at that level of that percent. So for instance, if it was Delicious Dividends, be at 25%. So if I went and made my regular deposit and it dropped Delicious Dividends down to 24%, that $15 would go into Delicious Dividends instead of going and buying a new ETF at that point. My gross on this account, I took a $40.69 gross, which is up $2 from last month. Last month I made $38 gross, but again, if you minus the $30 deposit that I made, or basically the two bi-weekly $15 deposits, you get a net income of $10.69, or 1.2%, which last month was around $8 for a total return of 1.9%. In case you're wondering about what was the year-to-date return on Stash this month, at the close of this month, it was $27.32, or 5.05%. Last month was $16.63, or a 3.07%. So by far, this is still my overall best performing account portfolio this year. Second being my Stash Invest account, which is, I believe, around a 4.8 year to date. I mean, personally with this account, it's good to see a back-to-back green month and see this account growing. I would like to see it by the end of the year be at a 10%. However, I think that maybe it'll close out maybe at an 8% or something like that. But anyways, let's go ahead and actually take a look into the actual account. So right now, as you can tell, it's $614.47. The total returns is $36.47 with a 6.31% return. It's going to be a little bit different than what I actually reported, because the overall month, I think the last 3 days have been kind of down. The portfolio right now, as you can tell, 27% into Delicious Dividends, about $165. Park My Cash, $151, 25%. The moderate mix is around 17%, and that's because when I originally opened up the account, it was either putting it to Park My Cash $100 or putting it into the moderate mix. And since Park My Cash was a very conservative account, I was let's go with the moderate mix. And then when I finally finalized my strategy, it was okay, now I want to put money into Park My Cash. So I'm okay with being that much exposed into the moderate mix, because I know that I guess in the next 5 to 10 years, it will probably balance itself out. Real Estate Tycoon, like I said, is 16% of my Stash account, $98.40. And then Robots Rising sits at 7%, or $44.80. $0.88. As my overall balance goes, it continues to climb. I keep on seeing green, and I keep on beating last month, and that's what I really like to see with this chart. Let's take a look at the overall account history. Right now, you can see I reinvested dividends back into Park My Cash, a $15 deposit on the 10th, which I bought delicious dividends, the subscription payment of $1.22, which is the adjustment basically for the $2 a month, because now they're going to start taking it out, I believe, on the first of the month or something along those lines. And then you got another $15 deposit on the 24th, which in turn I went around and bought some more Robots Rising. So that's pretty much how my account went. Not really too many interesting purchases, not like a one-off like I bought Roll with Buffett or something like that. It was pretty much just standard, hey, let's lay the foundation for this account, and then eventually we'll be able to start branching off into other avenues of stash. But for right now, let's make sure that our 5 core holdings are our 5 core holdings, and then from there I can move into other areas. So that's pretty much the overall account. I mean, there's not really too much there. It's pretty much just, like I said, bi-weekly deposit of $15, and then buy whatever percent is the lowest, or buy whatever ETF or equity is not at the percent that it needs to be at, and then from there keep on doing what I've been doing. So like I said before, like I look to see this account at like an 8% finishing out the year. I would be outstanding if it had finished at like a 10% or a 12%. I would be like super ecstatic if it like did like a 15%. I might even like have to throw a party or something like that. That's Stash Retire basically in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and jump into the question of the day, which if you designed and built a treehouse, what would it look like and what would be in it? Well, when I think about building a treehouse, I like, for me, what I guess covet would be the Ewok like sanctuary in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I think that if I was to design a treehouse, I would imagine it being something like the Ewoks had, where pretty much it's a community where everything is connected by bridges and whatever, and like it's like a huge kind of like city kind of thing. I think that there would be tons of stuff. If it was like my own specific treehouse, maybe that would be connected to a few other, like, so it would be like maybe like my bedroom is at one tree, and then like the living room is at another tree, and then maybe the kitchen at another tree, or you know, something that is pretty convenient, but that still shows like there's separate rooms on different trees. I would say that I would try to make it the most livable experience possible, having a bed, couch, TV, computer, live stream, whatever you want to call it. I think that that's kind of what I would want up there, and I guess I would try to have like an elevator or something like that, so that I wouldn't have to like climb the rickety old ladder to get to the top. I think that it would be cool to be like, hey, you know what? My treehouse has a ladder, or my treehouse has a elevator. Sorry, not a ladder. So let's take the elevator instead. My wife, unfortunately, would probably want stairs because she doesn't really like taking elevators, so she'd probably prefer stairs, like a spiral staircase. I'm sure that that's what she would love. So I'd probably put that in there anyways as well. But let's go ahead and leave it right there. Like I always say, if you got a question regarding Stash, Acorns, Robinhood, as well as general investing, business, Etsy, coaching, and M1 Finance, please post those questions down below. Don't forget to subscribe right up here. Check out these 2 videos right here in a link. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.